That morning, with my husband gone early for work, I expected just another quiet, ordinary day. But I had no idea. Just minutes later, while I was wrapped in a towel, steam still rising from my hair after a long shower, his son stood outside the bathroom door, calling my name in a voice that made me freeze. He came in. No knock. No hesitation. And what unsettled me most was that I let him. That wasn't the first time he looked at me that way, but it was the first time. I didn't look away. I married a man I deeply cared for, but somehow, the one who stirred something uncontrollable inside me was his son. If you think you're ready to judge me, listen to the whole story first, because sometimes morality isn't strong enough to silence what the heart truly feels. As Thomas set off for his day at work, it frequently left me in the company of my son, just the two of us in our little world. In our world, everything flowed effortlessly. It seemed almost effortless. At first, there was a certain distance between us, like two ships passing in the night. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, we discovered a path that led us closer, allowing us to truly see and understand one another. Logan possessed a depth of thoughtfulness and a maturity that belied his age, fostering a warm and inviting connection between us. At first, I saw his kindness and courtesy as simple gestures, but as time went on, brief yet significant moments emerged, leading me to wonder if there was something more profound, something we both were reluctant to face. On that fateful morning, the tension reached its peak. As I settled into the comfort of my home, anticipation filled the air for a tranquil day ahead, all while Thomas was away on his own adventures. As I stood in the bathroom, I was putting the finishing touches on my morning routine. The soothing sound of the shower enveloped the room, while wisps of steam gracefully ascended and embraced the mirrors. In a moment of stillness, I found myself reflecting on the exchange I had with Logan just the night before. The dialogue unfolded in a surprisingly serene manner. We wove our reflections on the future that lay ahead for him and the aspirations he was chasing. Yet, I felt an echo of uncertainty in his gaze that followed me like a shadow. That morning, as I stood before the mirror, towel in hand, drying my hair, a sound caught my attention at the bathroom door. Logan's voice echoed from the other side, breaking the quiet of the moment. It descends softly. "Are you here with me?" In a moment of surprise, I found myself taken aback as I blinked. In those tranquil early hours of the morning, Logan frequently bypassed the customary knock on the bathroom door. After pausing to ponder the reflection staring back at me, I shifted my gaze toward the door. "Indeed, Logan. I stand by your side, ready to support you. How have you been faring in recent times?" In the stillness that followed, I caught the delicate rustle of movements drifting from beyond the door. "Forgive me for the interruption, but I must make a quick trip to the bathroom. Could you spare a moment to step inside?" In a fleeting instant, doubt crept into my mind. The steam hung in the air, enveloping me as I swathed myself in a delicate towel, my damp hair flowing like a waterfall after the shower. Logan's voice resonated with an untainted quality, creating an air of inevitability around his desire to seek something from me. I nodded in agreement, striving to keep my voice steady and composed as I responded. Do step inside, won't you?" With a tender hand, the door creaked open and Logan rapped lightly, his voice laced with concern. "Gather round, for I have something of great importance to share with you." He donned sports pants, and his hair was a delightful mess, as though he had just awoken from a deep slumber. With a quick glance in my direction, he pivoted towards the closet, a sense of urgency driving him to uncover what he sought. As I gazed into the mirror, a shift in our interactions caught my attention, leading me to ponder the transformation of our relationship. As I stepped into the room, I felt his gaze hold onto me for just a heartbeat longer before it drifted elsewhere. A wave of unease washed over me as I sensed that something was weighing on his mind. Before long, I noticed that he had ceased his quest. With a gentle voice, He revealed his find, holding a jar of pain relief medication close to him. Yet, instead of taking his leave, he decided to stay put. Once again, his eyes held onto me, weaving a silent tale in the air. Are you getting ready for an extraordinary occasion? The day is just starting for me, and I'm only at the beginning of my journey. I met his gaze, determined to keep the air of normalcy around us. What brings that about? As he leaned back against his shoulders and the bed, the air in the room thickened, each passing moment adding to the weight of the silence. There's a sense of doubt lingering in the air. A transformation is evident within you. That comment caught me completely off guard. Have I experienced any change in my journey? I faced him, the towel draped around me, and looked at him with deep focus. In his eyes, there lay a profound depth, whispering of enigmas I had yet to unravel. An intense and all-consuming sensation, a marvel that left me utterly speechless. Have you noticed any changes in me recently? Would you be so kind as to elaborate on your thoughts? In a surprising turn of events, my words flowed with a tranquility I hadn't anticipated. Logan let his tongue glide over his lips, a fleeting distraction before his gaze returned to mine, locking in a moment of connection. Words seem to elude me at this moment. A cloud of uncertainty hangs over my thoughts regarding the answer. In that moment, I found myself adrift, struggling to find the right words to express my thoughts. The silence that settled between us became a weighty presence, thickening the air around us. The air was heavy with unvoiced tension, creating an uneasy feeling about how to face it. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Logan, the beloved son of my partner. It seemed out of place to experience these feelings. A tumultuous struggle brewed within me as I sought to unravel the intricate tapestry of our changing bond. Just as I was searching for the right words, Logan moved in, bridging the gap that lay between us. As I looked upon him, my heart began to race, caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty about what my next move should be. He halted a few paces away, his eyes locked onto mine with a piercing intensity. He shared it with a soft, soothing voice. I hope you'll indulge me as I share something that has been weighing on my mind lately, something quite perplexing that I'm struggling to understand. In a heartbeat, I was plunged into a world where air eluded me. Silence enveloped me, leaving me utterly speechless. A wave of uncertainty washed over me as I pondered the most fitting response. Truly, I experienced those same feelings, perceiving that delicate change in our connection, as if we were moving closer in a fresh manner, surpassing the boundaries of our family ties. As I began to share my words, a subtle tremor danced through my voice. Logan, I find myself in a whirlwind of confusion, yet just as I was nearing the end of my thoughts, he leaned in a touch closer, his hand gently grazing against mine. The exchange was gentle and reflective, filling me with a thrill of anticipation. It was an exhilarating experience, igniting a spark of awe within me. As I observed the scene unfold before me, my heart raced with anticipation, a vivid indication that we had ventured beyond an unexpected threshold, a journey that had been quietly brewing over time. Logan murmured softly, aware that it wasn't the right thing to do. As he grasped my hand, his voice quivered under the burden of his emotions. Yet, my emotions seemed to have a life of their own. The words eluded me, slipping through my grasp. The moment was charged with a depth that resonated within me, prompting a cascade of thoughts that danced just beyond my understanding. He was my sovereign, the protector of Thomas. Yet, the profound bond one experienced with him was undeniable. In that fleeting moment, a wave of urgency washed over me, prompting me to declare my need to depart, as I took a step back, severing the bond that had formed between us. A tremor danced through my voice, and I could feel a gentle heat spreading across my cheeks. Logan, with a heavy heart, conveyed his profound sorrow through a pained gesture, softly uttering an apology. I apologize. even if it arrived without genuine purpose. With a determined breath, I found my voice, eager to regain my footing in the unfolding tale. Shall we weave our paths together at a later time? With a swift step, I trailed after him, abandoning the bathroom in a flurry, not pausing for even a heartbeat. In the depths of my thoughts, a tempest brewed, confusion swirled around me, guilt clung to my heart, and an unfamiliar emotion lingered, waiting for its moment to be acknowledged. As I softly shut the door of my room, I discovered a sense of peace and revitalized my spirit within its warm embrace. My heart raced wildly within my chest. What just happened? What a whirlwind it has been, watching everything unfold in the blink of an eye. What path might he choose to embark upon at this very moment? In a moment where the world seemed still, I felt an overwhelming sense of disorientation, as if I were adrift in a vast sea, unsure of the direction I should take next. As the hours passed, I wove a tapestry of normalcy, crafting a facade that all was well. After finishing the housework and handling the shopping, I turned my attention to moving beyond the echoes of what had transpired in the bathroom. No matter the effort I put forth, the echoes of Logan's memories danced in my mind. The way he drew near, the gentle warmth of his touch, and the profound emotions reflected in his eyes, an experience unlike any other, etched themselves into my heart and mind, forever unforgettable. The result was far from what I had envisioned. In a twist of fate, I joined my life with Thomas, and in doing so, welcomed Logan into my heart as my stepson. Our bond was intended to be simple and close, but somewhere along the way, a change took place between us, and I failed to see it until it was beyond my grasp. As the hours unfolded, I discovered myself enveloped in the quiet embrace of solitude within the walls of my home. Once our meeting concluded, Thomas set off on one of his work journeys, leaving me to reflect on my thoughts in quiet solitude. In the stillness of my home, a deep silence wrapped around me, urging me to confront the truth of what had unfolded. Over and over, that moment danced through my mind, a vivid scene etched in my memory. The warmth and closeness enveloped us, his words igniting a rhythm in my heart, and the undeniable pull between us was palpable. As the night wrapped its dark cloak around the world, a sense of unease began to stir within me, deepening with each passing moment. As the day unfolded, the absence of news about Logan wrapped me in a soothing embrace of tranquility. There was a lingering doubt in my mind about how to engage with him after all that had happened, and I found myself at a loss for words should he choose to mention it. Yet a part of me, despite my attempts to push it aside, profoundly longed for his presence. In the depths of my thoughts, I couldn't help but ponder his whereabouts, the musings that occupied his mind, and if he shared the same cloud of uncertainty that loomed over me. As I settled into the sofa, at a nearly empty glass of wine in hand, the sudden creak of the main door opening caught my attention. With a sudden flutter in my chest, I released the glass without hesitation and turned my attention to discovering my inner peace. Not long after, Logan stepped into the room, his face a canvas of emptiness. As our gazes intertwined, a deep stillness wrapped around us. In the profound abyss of one another's eyes, we found ourselves adrift. The air crackled with unspoken words, a heavy silence enveloping us. He welcomed me gently, shattering the silence with his comforting voice. He spoke softly, with a hint of hesitation, as if approaching me was a daunting task for him. As his greeting reached my ears, I replied, my voice trembling with deep feeling. As I opened my eyes to the world, an unsettling tide surged within me. He unveiled the shadows of uncertainty that lingered within him. I wasn't sure if you'd return today, he replied. Indeed, I yearned to savor a moment in the embrace of nature. He gazed through the glass, his mind wandering far beyond the surface. He wore an air of discomfort, as if he were in a frantic quest to unearth the ideal phrases. Yet within his gaze, there lingered in essence a mirror to my own emotions. In the midst of my endeavors, my thoughts wove a tapestry that enveloped me entirely. It was my time to unveil my emotions, to illuminate the situation that enveloped us, to weave clarity and understanding into the tapestry of our experiences. Yet, I struggled to weave my thoughts into the fabric of words. My eyes were drawn to him, taking in the way the shirt clung to his form and how his dark hair softly cascaded over his eyes. He had transformed immensely since the day I said "I do" to Thomas. In the journey of his adult life, he experienced a remarkable change that reshaped his very being. In that moment, enveloped by the serene quiet of the room, it was undeniable that the feeling washed over me. Logan stepped forward, his voice laced with genuine remorse as he reflected on our earlier exchange. His tone flowed softly, like a warm breeze on a quiet evening. He longed to maintain a sense of ease in the situation. Yet, I find myself lost in the twists and turns of what unfolded. I shook my head, letting out a deep, heavy sigh that seemed to come from the very depths of my being. I shared my thoughts aloud, but the way I spoke revealed that something was amiss. Suddenly, I found myself taken by surprise. Very well, let us cast aside all these options. With a subtle nod of his head, he acknowledged the moment. As he lifted his gaze, our eyes met in a moment rich with meaning. There are moments when I ponder my role in this family tapestry. There are moments when I struggle to convey my thoughts to you. I recognize that it's not the best path, yet navigating my feelings proves to be quite a struggle for me. The words he wove around me sent shivers down my spine, wrapping me in a heavy cloak of suffocation. A profound urge stirred within me, compelling me to share something that could halt this situation from descending into chaos. Yet, I could not shake the undeniable weight of his words. A bond had formed between us, a quiet force that had been growing over time, and I found it difficult to fully accept this truth. Logan, I began to weave my words. My words flowed forth with a soft tremor. It seems like a dream just beyond reach. This cannot be allowed. You stand as the unwavering fortress for Thomas. And I sensed I had entered, his voice thick with a deep sadness. Despite grasping that notion, my feelings stayed the same. He inched a little nearer, and I could sense the warmth emanating from him. With each pulse of my heart, the space that separated us grew ever smaller. I intended to take a step back, to carve out some distance between us, but my legs seemed rooted to the ground, refusing to budge. Instead, I remained in my place, feeling my heart quicken, and rather than withdrawing, I decided to extend my hand and grasp his. The bond was palpable, wrapping around me in a comforting embrace that I could not overlook. I cast my eyes toward him. A wave of emotions washed over me as I caught a glimpse of those familiar feelings reflected in his gaze. In the air hung a palpable uncertainty, a profound longing, and a burdensome shadow of regret. Every emotion flowed freely between us, a tapestry of feelings woven together. Logan tenderly conveyed his wish to spare me from hurt, his finger lightly gliding over the back of my hand. Yet, I can no longer keep up the facade that this isn't truly happening. Acceptance was a challenging journey for me. My mind danced with the whirlwind of opposing feelings. A profound certainty coursed through my every action. A connection existed between us, one that felt genuine and undeniable. Yet, something about that just didn't sit well, did it? I embraced the role of a stepmother to him, the son of Thomas. This endeavor seemed completely out of reach. In that moment, as I stood there observing him, the gentle warmth of his hand sent my heart racing with excitement. I came to understand that I lacked the fortitude to break away from it all. Not at this moment. No, not when we stood at the brink of something so deep, so genuine. In a moment of challenge, I discovered my voice slipping away, emerging only as a faint whisper. Logan inched closer, his fingers wrapping around mine with a firm yet gentle hold. "There's no need to sort everything out at this moment," he said softly. "It is essential that we face the reality of the situation rather than turning a blind eye to its existence." The words he uttered hung in the air, thick with the weight of everything left unsaid. In that moment, I grasped the profound essence of his triumph. The charade could no longer be sustained. As time passed, the tension between us became almost palpable, and when the truth finally emerged, it was as if we had crossed an irrevocable threshold. Before I could find the right words, Logan poured out his heart, and I was left pondering the delicate lines that defined our connection. In that fleeting moment, I made the choice to meet their lips with my own, sealing the connection between us with a kiss. My hand softly found its place on his neck, pulling him closer to me. In that fleeting instant, the profound sorrow and the silent emotions we had kept buried within us came to light. A swirling mix of longing, uncertainty, remorse, and a deep emotional bond, an essence that resembled love. Little did I know the weight it carried. A sense of doubt lingered as we drew closer to our unknown destination. In that moment, a wave of tranquility enveloped me. As we reached the moment of farewell, a heavy sigh slipped from our lips, echoing the weight of the moment. As our foreheads met, the gravity of our recent decisions enveloped us, leaving us momentarily stunned. Yet, rather than experiencing regret, I found myself enveloped in a profound sense of calm. A wave of relief washed over me as the long-standing tension between us finally reached its climax. The time had come when masks were no longer a necessity. Logan's eyes locked onto mine, revealing a tapestry of profound feelings woven into his expression. He inquired gently, "What shall be our next adventure?" He paused, a reflection of the conflict brewing within him. "No word has come my way yet." It was clear that the bond we shared had experienced a deep and significant change. In that fleeting moment, as I clasped his hand, a profound realization washed over me. I had no desire to go back. In that moment, I expressed that this was far from the end of the tale. Unbeknownst to me, the words flowed forth from my lips, and so I proclaimed, "Together we shall uncover a path ahead." A wave of tranquility washed over me at the sight of his smile, a sensation long absent since that fateful morning in the bathroom. Regardless of what this means or how it transforms, we shall face it together, united in our journey. The tale continues to weave itself into existence. In the days that followed, we found ourselves wrapped in a tapestry of serene moments, gentle gestures, and unvoiced feelings that hung softly in the air between Logan and me. In the aftermath of that first kiss, an undeniable shift lingered in the air, as if we had stepped into uncharted territory. Yet, rather than being weighed down by guilt or sorrow, we experienced a wave of relief, as if the heavy tension that had hung over us for weeks had finally dissipated. In that fleeting moment of relief, we found ourselves acutely aware that our future had shifted in ways we could hardly fathom. While Thomas was away for work, Logan and I often found ourselves sharing the quiet of our home together. The moments of tranquility we experienced together took on a deep and meaningful significance. Every gesture and each expression of joy held within them a world of unvoiced inquiries. What connection does this have to our group? What adventure awaits us on the horizon? And let us ponder, for how long can we keep this information shrouded in secrecy? On a serene evening, mere days after our first kiss, Logan and I found ourselves once again in the embrace of the backyard's charm. As dusk descended, the sun gracefully withdrew, draping the garden in a tender golden hue, while the air wrapped around everything with a soothing warmth that lingered from the day's farewell. We had settled into a delightful rhythm, our evenings spent beneath the stars, weaving together playful dialogues and savoring the tranquil instances that flourish when two hearts connect in a special way. Logan settled down next to me. As our elbows gently grazed one another, a spark of connection flickered in the air. A surge of feeling enveloped me as I experienced the gentle heat of his skin pressed against my own. As I sensed his eyes on me, I turned to meet his gaze, and there it was, a soft, shy smile that sent my heart racing. "May I share a query with you?" He spoke gently, his voice a mere breath of sound. "Text, indeed," I responded, subtly adjusting my focus toward him. He looked down at his hands, as though drawing forth the courage to unveil his emotions. "Have you pondered the weight of this moment? In the tale of our circumstances?" The weight of the moment settled heavily upon me, my heart thundering in my chest like a drum echoing through the silence. My thoughts meandered through the vast landscape of my mind, but I opted for silence, holding back the tales that begged to be told. The unfolding reality between the two was a challenging truth to face. I realized that my voice came out softer than I had expected. There lingers a sense of doubt within me as I ponder if I truly possess the answers sought after. With a slow nod, he let his gaze fall to the ground. "I want you to grasp that this is not something temporary or brief, all right? Your presence in my life holds immense value to me. I often venture past the limits. This situation presents quite the challenge, and I struggle to navigate my emotions." The words you spoke hung in the air, thick with everything left unsaid. A heavy weight settled upon me, and my heart throbbed painfully as I faced the reality of your words. A profound worry settled in my heart for his well-being, as it appeared to stretch far beyond the bounds of safety. Yet, a profound worry settled within me regarding what this could signify for us, for our shared journey ahead, for my bond with Thomas. Text, I expressed my concern for you, my voice trembling with feeling. This tale unfolds in a way that transcends our personal journeys. Thomas occupies a cherished spot in our hearts, intricately intertwined with the very essence of our lives. Should he uncover the truth? Logan's face radiated a profound intensity. As he navigated through his feelings, he clenched his jaw. "I can see where you're coming from. My heart is entwined with his, yet I find it increasingly difficult to ignore the emotions that swirl around us." I sought the perfect words while he softly nibbled at my lip. Our connection was real, but we both knew that consequences awaited us. Causing Thomas any pain was never in my plans. Though the thought of disappointing him weighed heavily on my heart, I could not overlook the undeniable connection that blossomed between Logan and me. With a gentle whisper, I found myself hesitating, pondering the path that lay before me. Yet it dawned on me that this situation can no longer be brushed aside. As I gazed upward, I saw Logan's eyes shimmering with a tapestry of feelings, hope intertwined with apprehension, and a profound yearning that spoke volumes. He paused, extending his hand towards me, his warm fingers softly weaving together with mine. The warmth wrapped around me like a comforting blanket, breathing new life into my soul in that fleeting instant. Gently, he shared that a solution awaited us as he lovingly traced his finger along the back of my hand. Together, we shall journey through the twists and turns that lie ahead, no matter the obstacles that may arise. His words echoed in my soul, igniting a flame of steadfast conviction within my heart. At that instant, clarity enveloped the scene. The shadows of fear, confusion, and uncertainty slowly dissolved, making way for a serene clarity that enveloped the mind. Though we may not have held all the answers, it was not essential to grasp that understanding. What truly held weight was our togetherness in this matter, and that our collective worry carried the utmost importance. As the sun gracefully sank beneath the horizon, we found ourselves enveloped in a moment of serene contemplation, where elongated shadows waltzed softly over the garden's embrace. The soft caress of the breeze hung in the air, while the distant serenade of crickets gently broke the tranquil silence, marking the graceful shift from day to night. As I rested my head on Logan's shoulder, the gentle cadence of his breath enveloped me, and a wave of tranquility surged through me. a sensation I had long been without. Though I longed to grasp that moment for eternity, the reality lingered nearby, ever present. Soon, Thomas would return home, and the mere thought of his arrival stirred a profound sense of unease within me. How do I face the gaze, fully aware of the tale woven between Logan and myself? How does one maintain the illusion that all is well when, beneath the surface, turmoil brews within? In the days that followed, Logan and I wove a tapestry of calm, crafting an atmosphere of ease around us, even as we understood the weight of the challenging reality that lay ahead. Our bond was unmistakable, but the weight of regret soon began to press heavily upon my heart. As the night unfolded before Thomas's return, I lay in bed, my eyes fixed on the ceiling, lost in thought. Amidst the ceaseless storm of my thoughts, the quest for peace seemed like a distant dream, forever out of reach. Within the serene embrace of the house, the sole melody was the soft, rhythmic hum of the air conditioning, ebbing and flowing like a quiet tide. Yet the quest for tranquility and slumber seemed like a distant dream, forever out of reach. Memories of Logan washed over me like a gentle tide, recalling the warmth of our bond and the profound connection we once shared, awakening emotions that had lain quiet for far too long. A moment of decision unfolded before me. In the midst of this tangled web of emotions, I found myself grappling with the weight of uncertainty, caught in a delicate balance between my heart's pull towards Logan and my steadfast loyalty to Thomas. Still, the mere idea of making that decision, of saying goodbye to one of them, weighed heavily on the heart, a sorrow too deep to endure. As I reclined in contemplation, a subtle sound drifted in from the door of the room, capturing my attention. My heart pounded as if it had leaped into my throat. As I nestled into my seat, a thrill coursed through me, my heart pounding with eager anticipation. I gently waved the person in, inviting them to step inside. My words flowed forth, trembling softly like a whisper in the wind. With a hint of trepidation, the door creaked open and Logan rapped gently, his voice laced with concern. With a serious expression, he leaned in closer and said, "I need to talk to you about something important." With a gentle click, the door closed, and he found himself perched on the edge of the bed, the day's burdens wrapping around him like a heavy cloak. In that moment, a hush fell over us, and the heaviness of unvoiced thoughts hung in the atmosphere. With a gentle voice, he cast his eyes downward, weaving a narrative about his reflections on Thomas, while recognizing the hurdles that lay ahead. It would be unwise to rush you into a decision, as he found it quite challenging to come to terms with. His heartfelt tone wove a tight knot in my chest. In that very moment, he broke the silence, pouring forth his heartfelt love. His voice resonated powerfully, brimming with profound feeling. In a moment that feels like a whisper from the universe, my heart has become a vessel overflowing with a deep and abiding love for you. I understand that my hopes may not align with yours, yet I wish for you to take my feelings into account. The words he wove into the air wrapped around me, leaving me momentarily breathless. Deep within my soul, a whisper of certainty lingered, assuring me that he shared the same feelings I harbored. As he uttered those words, the profoundness of his feelings echoed within, revealing a sense of authenticity that was unmistakable. With a gentle whisper, I expressed my heartfelt affection for you. Like a whisper carried by the wind, the words escaped my grasp, dancing into the air unbidden. Logan looked at me, his eyes sparkling with a blend of astonishment and optimism. I inquired, "Truly?" "I truly connect with that sentiment." My heart raced within me, but that only complicates matters further. In that moment of silence, a deep stillness enveloped me, rendering me speechless, unable to find the words to continue our exchange. In that moment, a profound understanding washed over me, illuminating a truth I had finally grasped. I decided to unveil my authentic self, and my gaze longed to intertwine with his. As I reflect on the past, it becomes clear that my choice was guided more by my emotions than by rational thought. In that fleeting moment, a wave of tranquility washed over me. With a keen sense of perception, he grasped my message and welcomed my proposal with open arms. As I drew near, I found comfort in his presence and pressed my lips softly against his. We welcomed our emotions, and every moment resonated with a deep intensity. In a moment of reflection, I decided to welcome my emotions, and in that choice, I discovered a profound tranquility. And so, as the tale unfolded with fervor, it too reached a sudden and decisive end. The thrill he must have felt resonates within me, and I genuinely grasped that sensation. In that fleeting moment, he reached out, capturing my hand with his own. In that moment, we found ourselves enveloped in silence, our eyes locking in a shared understanding that conveyed more than words ever could. Upon our shoulders, the burden of the world pressed down, a heavy cloak of responsibility enveloping us. With a calm demeanor and unwavering determination, he shared his words gently. We shall embark on a journey to uncover a path ahead, no matter the obstacles that lie in our way. In that moment, a profound trust blossomed within me, woven through the very fabric of his words. Though the weight of decision loomed over me, an unwavering conviction whispered the truth of the right path to take. As Thomas stepped through the door that morning, an unusual calm enveloped the space, reminiscent of the stillness that often precedes a brewing tempest. The tension that was brewing between Logan and me was undeniable. He hung in the air like a soft fog, wrapping around us in a way that felt inescapable. As Thomas stepped back into our lives, an air of anticipation filled the space around us, hinting at the transformations that lay ahead, though the specifics remained shrouded in mystery. Our journey together has veered down a path I never saw coming. We found ourselves navigating the intricate landscape of our emotions, uncovering layers we had yet to explore. Despite my efforts to cast it aside, it remained, a constant presence, unwavering and close. As Thomas stepped back into the fold, he was greeted with open arms, a soft kiss on the cheek, and the soothing familiarity of their cherished routine. We reflected on the moments we shared while being apart. Thomas seemed oblivious to the silent chasm that had emerged between us. The joy he once shared wrapped the home in a warm embrace of familiarity, but beneath that cheerful surface, a heavy burden lingered, pressing down on his chest. Every look we traded and every word we uttered with Logan held the gravity of all that remained unsaid between us. With Thomas's return, the situation took on a new twist, weaving in threads of complexity that were previously unseen. Once dinner had settled, Thomas proposed that we convene in the living room for a meaningful exchange of thoughts. I was in complete accord. As I settled into the sofa, I tried to wear a smile, though my heart fluttered with a whirlwind of feelings. Logan took his seat opposite me. For a fleeting instant, our gazes intertwined. Regrettably, our conversation could not commence without Thomas's presence. He regaled us with tales of his travels, weaving in the many responsibilities that tugged at him, urging him to keep us informed. The whispers surrounding me danced in the air, weaving a tapestry that tested my focus. In the end, Thomas shared his regrets before heading off to work, leaving Logan and me alone in the living room. After he left, an intense stillness filled the space, wrapping around them as they shared a moment of deep contemplation. With a hint of anxiety, Logan sat in the chair, his hands gripped firmly as though he were attempting to protect himself from the weight of my gaze. With my head bowed, a tide of remorse surged through me. I completely understand the circumstances at hand, but now is the moment to bring this to Thomas's attention. He truly merits a kinder approach. He is not worthy of it. Logan came to a sudden halt and made his way back to me. What are your thoughts on it? He weaved the question into the air. I let out a deep sigh. The weight of my forthcoming words bore heavily upon my heart. It is of utmost importance that we embark on a journey to find a resolution to this issue. The weight of this uncertainty has grown too heavy to bear. His eyes were fixed on me, unwavering and intense. His face was a canvas, painted with the rich hues of pain intertwined with the gentle strokes of empathy. He leaned in close, his voice a soft murmur. You're right. What tale does that weave for our circumstances? The choice between Thomas and Logan loomed large, a puzzle that seemed impossible to solve. Yet, I came to realize that keeping the secret was no longer a viable option. Should we fail to act swiftly, the truth would reveal itself in a way that could lead to sorrow for all involved. With a heart full of sincerity, I admitted that the answer still eluded me. His attention barely grazed the sound of my voice. Being true to oneself is of utmost importance. It is vital for us to understand the importance of all that binds us together. Logan nodded in agreement, yet the sorrow in his eyes spoke volumes. He drew nearer to me. He settled beside me on the sofa, his hand softly resting on mine, and for a fleeting moment we shared in the tranquility of the moment. The burden of our circumstances bore heavily upon us, a palpable force that seemed to envelop our very beings. With a tender caress, he enveloped me in a cocoon of warmth and solace, inviting me to recline beside him, my head finding a perfect resting place on his shoulder. He softly expressed his longing for a different reality. I softly shared that my feelings mirrored theirs, yet it appears unfeasible to maintain this facade forever. We lingered in that stillness for some time, wrapped in the quiet of the room, with only the occasional drift of Thomas's voice from the adjacent room carrying through as he conversed on the phone. It was as if the world held its breath, a stillness enveloping us, aware that soon we would face the challenges that awaited. The next morning, just as Thomas was about to head off to work, I stumbled upon Logan in the kitchen, quite unexpectedly. The quiet space that lingered between us was filled with unspoken tales waiting to be told. The air was thick with anticipation, and it was essential to spark a dialogue to chart the way forward, but the right words danced just out of reach. In the end, I broke the silence with a firm proclamation. Logan's face was etched with a deep seriousness. Indeed, I found myself pondering that matter too. As we circled the kitchen table, a warm sense of togetherness enveloped us, each of us drawing strength from the company of one another. The weight of our conversation hung in the air, a palpable presence for each of us. I took a brief pause, seeking to collect my thoughts, despite the difficulty it presented. The scene unfolded with an air of overwhelming challenge and a web of complexities that seemed to intertwine endlessly. As I began to weave my tale, my words stumbled forth, tinged with uncertainty, as I revealed my feelings for Thomas. It is important for me to recognize the tale that is unfolding between us. Logan, you are dear to me, and finding my way through this situation regarding my marriage to your father is quite a journey for me. With a sense of urgency, Logan leaned in, his elbows finding a home on the table as he poured out his heart to Anna. My heart is burdened with the weight of knowing that I might bring you sorrow, for you mean so much to me. Simultaneously, the thought of being separated weighs heavily on my heart. The words he spoke resonated within me, stirring emotions that brought tears to my eyes. A profound urgency surged within me to prevent his escape, yet the truth of our predicament was undeniable. The situation was dire, and we had to change our course to avert total ruin. I expressed my desire to take a moment, my words flowing softly as I felt a delicate tremor in my voice. One must navigate the essence of this relationship with a spirit of tranquility and empathy. Creating a bit of space might just be the key to reaching that goal. Logan's features began to fade, and I could feel the anguish mirrored in his gaze. He painted a vivid picture of the necessity to carve out a little distance between us. His feelings resonated through each phrase. A tide of sorrow enveloped me as I felt the heaviness resting upon my heart. It seems to me that this is the only way to truly understand our emotions. It seems that the path to a solution remains shrouded in mystery, waiting for Thomas to reveal its secrets. For what felt like an eternity, Logan sat in silence, his gaze fixed intently on the table that lay before him. His face bore the marks of a profound struggle, mirroring the storm that raged within me. With a deep breath, he released a gentle sigh and murmured, "I understand if you think this is the right path to take." With a soft touch, I extended my hand and grasped his gently. "Logan, my heart aches at the thought of our separation, yet we must embrace the truth, both within ourselves and between us." He raised his eyes, a profound sorrow and empathy shimmering within their depths. He spoke of his profound concern over the thought of losing Lauren, yet he was ready to take any measures necessary. Following that conversation, I find myself drained, but a soothing tranquility envelopes me. As we lay aside our facades and welcome the reality of our situation, we embark on a journey that guides us toward discovering the path ahead. Though it posed its challenges, it was the only road to keep moving forward. In the days that followed, Logan and I decided to keep our distance, seeking the space we needed to ponder the unfolding events. It was a tapestry of complexity, a test of resolve, yet essential to the very fabric of existence. Though the path ahead was shrouded in mystery, a steadfast belief anchored my heart. Whatever trials awaited us, we would face them together, united in our journey. In due time, a choice would need to be reached, yet for the moment, we pressed on slowly, exploring the intricate feelings that had led us here. No matter the circumstances, I sensed the profound connection that tied us as one. The bond that united us would stand the test of time, even as circumstances changed around us. On that tranquil night, as I nestled into my bed, the house was wrapped in a gentle hush, and a profound calmness flowed through me like a warm embrace. Though it lacked perfection and ease, it carried a sense of authenticity that was more than enough for that fleeting moment.